And for this next matchup, we got another flyweight fight. This one's between two guys looking to bounce back from losses. Carlos Hernandez is the guy with the UFC victory. He got it in his debut. He got a split decision win over Victor Altamirano. Denys Bondar came to the UFC, had some bad luck in his debut where he was actually looking like he was having a little bit of trouble, though, with Malcolm Gordon. And he got his arm extended. He didn't tap out. I don't think it was that, I don't think he injured it then, but he maybe weakened it a little bit. And then when he went to post or when he got taken down, he posted and his arm just ended up giving out on him, and he had to take a pretty extended time off after that. He hasn't fought in over a year. So he's making his comeback here, and it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. Hernandez, it's pretty obvious what he wants to do. He's going to want to keep it on the feet. He trains at a VFS Academy in Chicago, which has a lot of those real fun strikers to watch, and he has great footwork. He'll bounce in and out of range well, 1-2s, 2-3s. He has fast hands, and his kicking game is also on point. He'll throw kicks to all parts of the body. He comes in good shape, so he can kind of dart in, dart out for 15 minutes, but he does tend to overextend on his punches, give up takedown opportunities, and get clipped with counters. I've seen him wobbled in his Contender Series fight, but he's tough to deal with on the feet. He's sharp. He is usually defensively sound, and he's pretty clean with everything that he throws. And he's a good grappler. He's not really an active wrestler, but he'll time body locks at times, and he will look for takedowns against fighters when they're pressuring too hard against him. He was able to hit some takedowns on Altamirano his last fight, used that to kind of squeak out a decision. And on top, he's aggressive. He's fluid. He has good back takes. His takedown defense and get-ups are kind of questionable. He exposes his hips. He can give up takedowns. His Contender Series opponent hit multiple takedowns against him, and his get-up game is good. He doesn't stay stagnant on bottom, but he will expose the back to stand up. And against Denys Bondar, that could be an issue. In his last fight, he got taken down early against Rodrigo Nascimento, got his back taken and got hit with the rear naked choke. And Bondar has a lot of submission wins. I don't think that Bondar is a guy that's as slick, and probably the likelihood of him hitting a real early RNC on Hernandez is not as high. But he has to up the takedown defense because the Ukrainian's a beast on the ground, and he has very fast level changes. He has a lot of finishes there himself. So if he can get his grappling going, I think it's going to be a hard night for Hernandez. But Hernandez knows what he has to do to win. If he could stop the takedowns, keep it standing, he's going to have a big advantage. And he has the cardio to fight for 3 rounds, and he's very successful if he can keep it on the feet in this fight, in my opinion. Denys Bondar, he, like I said, is making his return after a year and 3 months away. He's 30 now, so hopefully he can, get going in his career if he wants to progress up towards the top of the rankings. He's skilled, and he should be able to compete if he shows up on point. He's light on his feet. He has good distance control himself. He likes to stand tall. He'll pressure, feint, move in and out, use the jab, and then counter with overhands. And he does a good job to use the jab and feints to back guys up, and then you'll take him down. When fighters overextend or chase him, his level changes are really good, and that's going to be, in my opinion, very pivotal in this fight. Defensively, he does hold his hands low. He can float his chin. His head movement and reflexes are very solid, but sometimes fighters can close that gap and land on him. He has good wrestling against the cage. His top control is also on point. Nice elbows. He could stay active, and he'll pass, transition. He likes to attack arm triangles. He has good back takes, rear naked chokes. His last fight, like I said, he got caught in that arm bar after getting a takedown, and Malcolm Gordon's a black belt with an aggressive guard. I don't necessarily think Hernandez is going to have the submission threat, but Bondar has good cardio. He's aggressive. He's a finisher. He's fun to watch. He's a guy that's kind of has a padded record, but he also has some pretty good wins. Like, for instance, he has a win over Steve Ursig, who we saw last week go in there and beat a top 10 guy. And I personally like Carlos Hernandez as a fighter. I wish the UFC would give him more striking fights, but this is a tough style matchup for him once again. I think he will be better with his defense after getting subbed quick in his last fight. Show some improvements in the grappling maybe, but ultimately I think Bondar's double. I think his chain wrestling is going to be the difference. Whether Bondar grinds him down and subs him or whether he wrestles him for 3 rounds, I think he's going to win this fight. And I'm going to pick Bondar to win via second round submission.